and welcome to CAFOD Share the Journey podcast, episode 1, Achieving Safe Migration for Bangladeshi Workers. My name is Sam and I work in the campaigns team at CAFOD. Our latest campaign, Share the Journey, has been inspired by Pope Francis's call to share the journey with migrants and refugees. During this podcast, we are going to hear stories from around the world of people on the move. We are also sharing the stories of CAFOD supporters who have taken part in their own solidarity walks.
Hello, my name is Eloise and I'm the Regional News Officer here at CAFOD. I spoke to our campaigns team to find out a bit more about the Share the Journey campaign.
Hello, my name's Sarah and I work at CAFOD as Campaign Manager.
So, where did the idea for the Share the Journey campaign begin?
War, persecution, natural disasters and poverty are forcing millions of people from their homes. The Church can't turn away, and Pope Francis has really been responding to this challenge. He launched the campaign himself in 2017, saying every stranger who knocks on our door is an opportunity for an encounter with Jesus Christ, who identifies with the welcomed, rejected strangers of every age. This year offers us a particular opportunity to influence world leaders. There have been 2 agreements negotiated at the moment, one on refugees and one on migration, and they'll be agreed by the UN by the end of the year. So Pope Francis has spoken about this being a unique opportunity for Catholics worldwide to put pressure on governments to make sure that the dignity of refugees and migrants is at the heart of these.
Earlier you mentioned that Pope Francis had started off this campaign. Why would you say that our faith is calling us to act?
We're called to love our neighbours, and CAFOD stands alongside the poorest in society, and often they're those who are forced to flee their homes. So by joining in with Share the Journey and our walks, we can live out our faith and stand in solidarity with those in poverty.
What have CAFOD supporters been doing so far to get involved in the Share the Journey campaign?
We've been inviting CAFOD supporters to hold walks in their local communities, whether that's a parish or a school or with a group of friends. And we've been amazed by the number of people that have taken it up so far. So collectively, we're hoping to walk 24,900 miles, which is the distance around the whole world. And we've been tracking these miles on an online totalizer. And on these walks, we've been asking communities to share their stories of how they've been on journeys and to discuss the stories of refugees and migrants. And at the end of the walks, we've been inviting people to sign action cards to Prime Minister Theresa May, asking her to make sure that the UK plays a leading role in negotiations.
Do you have a message for people thinking about organising their own walk?
Just really that it's super easy to get involved. It may sound quite a daunting thing, organise a walk, but it could be as big as you want it or as small as you want it. So I've heard about parishes that have done a walk around the inside of their building and added up those miles. I've heard about individuals that have climbed Mount Snowdon, people that run marathons, or school groups that just walk around their playground. It really depends on people that are in your local community, but really make it as simple as possible or as difficult as you'd like to make it.
So, I heard you've been on a Share the Journey walk recently. How did you find it?
I joined a group of people from St Edward Confessor Church in Portsmouth Diocese for their Share the Journey walk. And it was a part of a whole day for the diocese to reflect on the stories of refugees and migrants and then to speak about the ways that they could respond. So in the morning we heard from CAFOD partners in Bangladesh and the story of a migrant worker and her experience, and also reflected on the Syria crisis. And we learned how 3 out of 4 of the world's refugees are being hosted by developing countries. And the walk came in the middle of the day. So 41 of us walked 1 mile each around a lake. And it was a really good opportunity just to reflect on the stories that we'd heard in the morning and speak with others about their take on it and the ways that they were going to take action to respond.
Thanks so much for talking to us. It's been great to learn more about the Share the Journey campaign. If you've been inspired to organise or take part in your own walk, please get in contact and share it with us on social media. We look forward to hearing from you.
Migration is happening all over the world. One country where over 10 million people a year migrate is Bangladesh in Asia. Bangladesh is a nation of over 160 million people. Over half of these live on less than $2 a day. Many young people view migrating, usually to richer Gulf countries, as a way to generate income for their families. Unfortunately, the sector remains largely unregulated. Recruitment agencies falsify documents and offer fake, lucrative overseas jobs. In reality, many send the workers to a life of misery and uncertainty. Reports of Bangladeshi workers being abused, beaten, jailed, and deported are common. CAFOD's partner OCUP has been working to improve the rights of migrants since 2004. They campaign for gender justice, human rights, and rights for returning migrant workers. We spoke to OCUP's programs director, Shakarul Islam, about their work.
OCUP is basically a migrant workers organization in the community. So we usually provide services to the migrant workers throughout the migration cycle. For example, we provide awareness raising activities so that people know before leave the country, and then we have services for the vulnerable migrant workers who return back with different kind of problems, difficulties, sickness, and then we do advocacy with the government, and for that we usually do evidence-based research so that we can provide evidence to the government. In our work, we have two approaches basically. One is to empower migrant workers through education, awareness, learning, and other thing is through advocacy. And over the time, we have seen that the migrants are being united. They are now more aware about their rights, and they are able to take informed decision for migration. So from our activities and programs, we find that people are being motivated, and there is a positive change in the community.
Now to the story of a migrant worker in Bangladesh. She shares how she worked with CAFOD's partners, OCUP, to gain her rights and educate others.
I completed a secondary exam in Bangladesh, and after that I couldn't continue my study because there was poverty in the family. Our economic condition was not so good. In that context, I decided to go abroad as domestic worker. I was told to get up 4 o'clock in the morning every day, and I did so, and sometimes I couldn't get up at 4 o'clock exactly because of sleeping, but then they come and they kick me off and to wake me in the morning, and then they started, and I used to do everything in the family. And I finished everything that I supposed to do. But even if Madam came and asked why you were sitting here, I said, I have done my work. There is nothing undone yet. But she said, no, there are many things to do. And she used to make new work for me so that I cannot get rest. She used to bring me in her relative's house. And I did work. I was forced to do work, although I was not entitled to do work in other house. But they forced me to do it. It was really painful to do hard work till 2 o'clock in the morning. So I had really very little time to get rest. And I begged to my madam that please do not send me to other house because it's very difficult for me to work there, but they didn't listen to me. When I returned back, I was not stable mentally, but somehow I come across one woman who used to work at OCUP, and then she talked with me, and then she offered me to go to OCUP office, and then one day I went there, and then I started participating in different activities. But still I had the bad feelings. I was not stable mentally. But the activities actually helped me to understand that it is not only me, there are many other women who face the same problems and difficulties. And then I started sharing.
আমি CAFOD ভিজিটে আসছি।
I have encountered different forms of abuse, exploitation. I was locked in the house. I was not given salary. I was not given enough food while I was working abroad as migrant domestic worker. So I had a lot of bad experiences, and I do not want that, like me, no women worker face the same problem, and that's why I joined with OCUP. I want to continue my work to provide knowledge and education to the new migrant workers.
Now we are going to close with a short time to reflect.
Our Father,
who art in heaven,
sia santificato il tuo nome.
Venga a vosotros tu reino.
Bądź wola Twoja jako w niebie, tak i na ziemi.
Dyroi ni heddiw ein bara beunyddiol.
Limbisa mabiso.
Para ng pagpapatawad namin sa nagkakasala sa amin.
Sa tisapakeza, pastinunirem jakaipa.
Amen.
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 Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the show. None of our work is possible without supporters like you. As you've heard in this podcast, we stand beside people from all over the world, whatever their religion or culture. We campaign for global justice so that everyone can reach their full potential. If you want to find out more about our work, please visit cafod.org.uk. And if you're interested in campaigning, why not sign up to our monthly campaigning e-newsletter? Visit cafod.org.uk/how-to-campaign. Finally, remember to follow us on our social media channels. Search @CAFOD on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.